Hi everyone. Are you ready to do your speak out exercises? I have a lot of information to share with you. I saw an article online about walking tips, so we're going to use that for our bonus reading today. My name is Samantha Allenderry. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. We developed the Speak Out Therapy program. It's now going on 12 years ago. We have treated hundreds of people with Parkinson's using this technique called Speak Out, and the basis of it is to strengthen the muscles you use for speaking and swallowing and to learn how to speak with intent. I'm going to take you through the exercises. First, we need to take a sip of water, though. It is so important to drink water. Did you know that the more moist the tissues of the vocal folds in this area, the less push from the lungs that is required to make the vocal folds work the way they need to? I'll explain that in a minute. Take a sip of water. When we speak, you take air into your lungs, you expand your lungs, and then they contract and they push the air up, and the air hits your vocal folds, and they start vibrating. The more moist the tissue, the easier it is, the less push from the lungs that is required to make the vocal folds vibrate and work the way they're supposed to. Another way of looking at it is the drier they are. If you don't drink enough water, the lungs have to work harder to blow the vocal folds apart. So make sure you're following your doctor's recommendations and drinking enough water, okay? I know it's tough, especially with people with Parkinson's. They don't want to be running to the bathroom as often, but your body will get used to it a little bit better once you get started. It's just a little bit tough the first couple days. We're going to start with the first speak out exercise. I want you to lift your voice. Imagine you're throwing it over a big crowd. Don't let it fall on anybody's head. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. Connect all of the sounds. May, me, my, mo, moo. Take a breath whenever you need to. You don't have to do the whole sequence on one breath. Here we go again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Move that mouth. Move that mouth. Exaggerate. May, me, my, mo, moo. Some people like to change it up and change the first sound to a K, K, ki, kai, ko, ku, or an L, lay, li, li, lo, lu. You can certainly do that, but I would start with at least a few of them with the M's. That's a relaxing sound. We're trying to just warm up the voice and not have to work too hard. Let's do one more. May, me, my, mo, moo. Very important to warm up your voice. Wake it up. Get it used to working like it's supposed to work. It might even be helpful for you to warm it up a little bit before meals. If you're noticing that you're having to think a little bit more about your swallowing, or you're having trouble waking up those muscles, reminding them how they're supposed to work might help. Take a sip of water. Now, the ah. We want a consistent sound. I don't want you to belt out an ah and then not be able to hold it very long. I don't want it to be loud and then trail off. We want a nice, consistent ah, which takes a lot of control. Control between the breathing muscles and the vocal folds. Here we go. Open your mouth wide. Do it again. You should not necessarily match my pitch. Do whatever feels comfortable to you. Just don't think about it too much. Just what comes out. So one thing, if you need to, if your pitch is very different from mine, you can just put me on mute, follow my instructions, and then do the ahs your way. Ready? Ah. Again. One more ah. Think about it. Use intent. Project it up and forward, up and over the crowd. Here we go. Ah. As you're doing the ah, do you feel that the airflow is going forward? And I don't want you getting tense and going like this. So let's do one more, and you should feel the air is going in front of you. Let's do it again. Good. All right, let's take a sip of water, then we'll move on to the next exercise. On a scale of 1 to 10, you should be working hard. So many times people come back in for their speak out refreshers. That's like a little reevaluation you have every 3 to 6 months with your speech pathologist. And sometimes they're doing the exercises every day, but the problem is it's not doing any good because they're not using enough intent. You don't want to just go through the motions. You've got to be deliberate, purposeful. You're not yelling. We're not yelling. No, we're projecting our voice out. Let's go ahead and do the glide. Project out an ah, steady ah, and then glide up. Here we go. Ah. Stop. Good. Don't let it trail off at the end. Get the sound in front of you. Ready? Stop. All the way. We'll go a little faster. Ready? Stop. Relax. The more you practice this, the more you will be able to relax. You don't want to be pushing like this. I don't want to see your veins popping out right here. You've got to relax while you do this. Imagine you're sitting on the couch with your family and friends there and you're just talking. And that's how you want to get. You want to be able to do the exercises just like you were having a conversation, but with more intent. Okay, so it's going to be much stronger, more powerful than conversation, but you should have that feeling that you're just sitting down having a conversation. Take a sip and we'll do 2 more glides. If you start practice like that, trying to be more relaxed, it will be easier for you when you get in a confrontational situation. Whenever that happens, people have a harder time speaking out. Their tremor starts going wild or their dyskinesia. So you've got to practice with this mindset that you're going to relax and just project your voice out. Let's do a glide. Stop. You may feel that you have to push harder when you go down. Listen to me. I feel like it's pulling me down. It's like a roller coaster that goes down and then out. Start high. Ready? Nice and strong all the way to the end. One more time. Start high. Good. Let's take a sip of water. We're working hard. All right, next exercise. For the ahs and the glides, the mouth was open, okay? So we weren't really moving the tongue that much. We were working the respiratory muscles and the vocal folds. Now we're going to add in the articulators and exercise the whole system. Use lots of intent. That's the only way to activate all the muscles. Throw your voice up and over the crowd. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Lots of confidence, lots of energy. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In front of you. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You might have noticed that I had to take a breath after 15, and that's okay. You don't have to do all 4 numbers on one breath. In fact, I don't want you squeezing out the words to try to do it on one. Just take a quick breath. Don't think about the breathing, though. Only think about speaking out. Lifting your voice and projecting it out to the world. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, we're done with that. I'm going to show you again the wonderful t-shirt. All of you who registered for the choir, Your t-shirts are being sent. In fact, some of them were mailed earlier in the week. I'm going to show you a picture. Look at this. My staff, my wonderful staff, and our volunteers finished packing up all the t-shirts. There they are. Poor mailman. I feel so sorry for him. Every time he comes in, he's got big packages. Did you know that last year we shipped out 4,554 Speak Out workbooks across the U.S.? Those are all the patients that were receiving Speak Out in clinics and hospitals across the U.S. And then we have an e-library for patients that live outside of the U.S. All right, take a sip of water. We're going to move on to the reading. We're going to do a poem about fall, and then our bonus reading will be some tips for walking. All right, let me get a sip of water first. If you are new to the broadcast, our first part of our reading that we're going to do right now is usually a little bit simpler, shorter phrases or sentences, and then the bonus reading is more challenging. When we do the reading, we are projecting out. You should be putting forth as much energy like you're presenting to a big crowd, like that. That's how I want you to do it. Let's start at the beginning with fall poems. Ready? Fall poems. Leaves are falling. Leaves are falling to the ground without a sound. Days are getting shorter. Nights are getting longer. Fall is here. We're going to do it again. It's really important to also incorporate intent, not just by the power of your voice, but maybe saying it in a different way. So this time we'll stretch it out like, leaves are falling. Ready? We're strengthening the muscles we use for speaking and swallowing. Here we go. Leaves are falling. Leaves are falling to the ground without a sound. Days are getting shorter. Nights are getting longer. Fall is here. Did you notice how I said here in front of you? Do you ever feel like your voice is inconsistent, like you can't rely on it? This is why it's important to be practicing in different ways and purposefully making yourself change it up. This time we're going to read it, but we're going to spell the last word of every line. Spell the last word instead of saying it. So it'll be, leaves are F-A-L-L-I-N-G. And every sound needs to make it in front of you over the crowd. We're speaking out. I will do it a little bit slower. Okay, relax. Leaves are F-A-L-L-I-N-G. Again, leaves are F-A-L-L-I-N-G. To the G-R-O-U-N-D. Without a S-O-U-N-D. Days are getting S-H-O-R-T-E-R. Nights are getting L-O-N-G-E-R. Fall is H-E-R-E. Take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Keep in mind that the speech deficits related to Parkinson's, it's called a motor speech disorder. A motor speech disorder. So it is very good for people with Parkinson's to take a short reading and change it up. You're trying to coordinate the motor movements. So you purposefully stretch it out. You purposefully say it faster. You do it different ways like that to help you. Now, for the cognitive exercise, I'm going to ask Katie to post this document. I'm going to pull it up. So, as part of the Speak Out protocol, everybody is always asking, but how do I transition what I'm doing in my exercises to regular talking, to regular conversation? This is our secret at Parkinson Voice Project. They're called Extra Speak Out Activities. These are not in the workbook. Your speech pathologist will use these activities to help you make that transition into conversation. All different ways to make you think and concentrate and still speak out. So this is a sheet that describes, I know it's too small for you to read, so don't worry about that. I want you to download the PDF. If you, by the way, if you are practicing on our Facebook page or YouTube, we cannot post documents over there. We can't post cute pictures and things. I know you like the chat feature better on Facebook. Please send me an email. Send an email to intent@parkinsonvoiceproject.org. Tell us what it is about the chat feature that you would like improved, okay? Because maybe when we raise the money for the holiday challenge, maybe we can invest some money in upgrading the chat feature. It cost us $5,000 to get the chat feature up on our website, so maybe we can upgrade it. But we need your feedback from anybody practicing on Facebook. Tell us what you want to see, all right? Now, extra speak out activities. I know you can't read it, so I'm going to just give you some example. Photo cards or pictures, name pictures. Look in a magazine. You can look in a magazine. Name pictures, just flip through it. There's a television set. There's a dog. There's a brown dog. Oh, this is the store I go to. That really wasn't naming. Just name objects. This is Target. This is the beach. This is a maple tree. And you just name objects while you're speaking out. That's a nice, easy one to do. You can do playing cards, a deck of cards, and name the card. Two of spades, a 10 of diamonds, things like that. Then you name the card that comes before the one. So if it says 2 of spades, you say 3 of spades. So you don't say what's on the card, you make up a game. You're going to name the one that comes 3 after the one you pick up. If you pick up 2 of spades, you don't say that. You say 5 of spades. You see how you start making yourself think and then speak out. There are all different kinds of ideas. Saying words, spelling them backwards, making up a phrase or a sentence with a word. This is a great way to transition to conversation. Calling, phone practice, calling businesses. Call 5 businesses and say, how late are you open? Thank you. And when you can do that and they don't ask you to repeat and you use your best voice, you add on another question. How late are you open? Do you take American Express? Thank you. Okay? You can practice like this. There are other suggestions here. Please download that form. That's what I'm using for our cognitive exercise today. I know we didn't actually do cognitive, but hopefully that gives you some ideas. You must practice, practice, practice. It is not enough to do these exercises. You have to start transitioning to conversation. Take a sip of water. We're going to do the bonus reading. I found some tips online for walking And so we're going to read through those tips. And again, you can download that reading material from our website. On our chat feature, by the way, if you scroll down to the bottom, if you've never used it, you just have to type your name first. Type your name, nothing else. Name, hit submit. Then you can chat away. I'm going to pull up the reading material. By the way, on the document that Katie is posting, it has both, it has a couple fall poems that you can practice, and then the walking tips. We're going to go ahead and read this. Oh, you know what? Before we read this, let's do Dr. Boone's words. Okay, then we'll do the bonus reading. All right. The back of the tongue has to hit the roof of the mouth in order for people to swallow. Later on, swallow and pay attention. The tongue has to go up all the way to swallow. And because the movements with Parkinson's are smaller, sometimes the tongue doesn't go up high enough, and so somebody is struggling to swallow. These exercises force the tongue up, which is why we use them. All right, exaggerate the sounds. Here we go. Gu la gan ga ga. Gu la gan ga ga. Relax, relax. Ready? Gu la gan ga ga. Exaggerate. Next one. Ku ka man gu ka. Ku ka man gu ka. Ku ka man gu ka. Ready? Gangla, gangla, gangla. And the last one. Kukla, kukla, kukla. Sip of water with intent, and then it is time for the bonus reading. Here we go. Take a sip of water. For the bonus reading, we do not repeat as much as we did for the other reading. This is more challenging. If you're not quite at this level, don't worry. You will get there with lots and lots of practice, but do the best you can. We're going to read through, again, like we're reading to a big crowd. When you can do this for 3 to 5 minutes, believe me, conversation will get easier. Here we go. Bonus reading. Are you familiar with these 6 strategies to assist with walking? Number 1, external cueing. For example, walking to the beat of a metronome, wearing vibrating socks, or stepping over lines. We're going to do this again. And by the way, I never heard of vibrating socks. I'm going to have to look those up. Okay, say number 1. Ready? Number 1, external cueing. For example, walking to the beat of a metronome, wearing vibrating socks, or stepping over lines. Number 2, internal cueing. For example, using self-prompting or mental math. I'm not sure what mental math is. I wonder if it's when you walk, you go 2 + 2 = 4. If you know what that is, chat and tell us what it is. All right, number 3. Ready? Number 3, changing the balance requirements. For example, shifting weight in place before stepping, making wider turns, or using walking aids. Ready? Next one. Number 4, to the crowd. Altering the... start over, number 4. Number 4, altering altering the mental state. For example, breathing exercises or other approaches to limit anxiety or fear of falling. Number 5, action observation and motor imagery. For example, mimicking someone else walking or visualizing the desired movement. I say, walk down the hallway like you're the boss. That's what you need. That's intent. Ready? Last one. Number 6, adapting a new walking pattern. For example, scissoring, knee lifting, jumping, running, or walking backwards. I've never seen anybody have to walk backwards. Let's read number 6 and then we're done. Let's do it again. Number 6, adapting a new walking pattern. For example, scissoring, knee lifting, jumping, running, or walking backwards. Download this reading material. Also, this session is recorded. If you want to write it down or review it again, you can just play the video and pause it and study each one. All those strategies to help you with walking. Thank you for joining me today. Michelle will be with you tomorrow. I can't believe it's already Thursday. This weekend, I am making a special Italian feast in memory of my father who passed away in 2003. We're going to have way too much food. I'm cooking so much food and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to put on the 3 tenors and listen to the music and just think about my dad. And little tradition I do every year.